Hey PC gamers, and welcome back to the PC Gamer Chat Log. I am Lauren Morton, and I'm here with Mollie Taylor.
Hi everyone!
And this week, Mollie came up with an idea for us to do a bit of a show and tell episode again. We are going to be talking about our dream adaptations from video game to screen. We're getting so many of these right now, so we are coming up with one that we would really love to see. We are attempting to cast it. Who would we have be in this dream adaptation of ours? But before we get to that, Mollie, what did you do last week?
Yeah, so I've been returning to my childhood a little bit. I dove into a fan server for the old Disney MMO Toontown Online that closed down like 10 years ago this month. So there's a fan server that's quite a faithful recreation called Toontown Rewritten. So I dove into that. I gave that a little play. I'm still playing it. I've got a couple friends into it and they've also been playing it. So that's been like super fun having like people to play with, because that's the thing, I've almost never had anyone to play this game with. So it's been really nice.
That is wild. A resurgence of the childhood MMO. Has it been weird or like nostalgic, or like having your adult friends there in your childhood MMO? Is that weird? Or has it been fun?
It's a little weird, I guess. Like it's really nice having like people to share it with, because one of my friends who's playing it with me at the minute, he never played it as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It was not something that he played, so now's kind of his chance to be playing it, because he like installed it because I semi-bullied him, and I wasn't expecting him to stick with it after that night. I went to bed. It must have been about like 11, 12. I went to bed and I woke up at 8 a.m. and went on Discord, and he was still playing.
Oh no.
He was still playing. So it's nice. It's nice returning to my childhood, and it's nice having people to experience that with.
That's so fun. I love it.
It's really cute. That's my week.
I did not play a ton last week. I did spend a few hours trying out Moonstone Island, which is another farm sim type game. This one also has a creature catching component to it, so it's, Pokemon meets farm sim. And it's been really cute. I'm definitely partial to the pixel art versus the 3D when it comes to farm sim stuff for whatever reason. So that part's been really cute. It starts a little bit slow, I would say, compared with having just tried Fae Farm the week before, which I think I talked about specifically, just really gets you on track fast, and ends like just like a really good, I don't want to say onboarding experience, that's so corporate of me, but it has a really good onboarding experience. And Moonstone Island, super cute, love the concept, but the turn-based battles are like a little bit slow because they're also card-based. The initial quests it gives you are kind of long-term quests. Like some of them are quick, but a lot of them are a bit longer, so you don't like get onto that treadmill quite as confidently, I don't feel like. But I'm gonna keep putting time into it, see how I continue enjoying it for sure. And that's most of what I did last week, other than like continuing to play more Sky Children of the Light on my Switch, because there's a current season going on. So I'm like, working on earning my seasonal candles, and like, it's, oh my gosh, it's such an MMO experience. I can't wait for people on PC to try this game so I can continue not shutting up about it. Yeah, that's what I did last week. So Mollie, with that, then we will get into talking about our dream adaptations for video games to screens. Okay, so Mollie, tell us what we are sharing with each other, choosing today.
Yeah, so we are casting like our dream video game adaptations. We're picking a game and we're turning it into a movie or a TV show, live action. I assume that's what I've done.
Yep, that's what I did.
Live action is what we were going for. This turned out to be way harder than I thought it was gonna be. This was my idea, and I'm so sorry, Laura, because I thought this was gonna be easy.
I was all about this. I was like, this is a great idea, Molly. Let's freaking do it. I was like, ha ha ha. I'm just gonna like, pick some talent to go with a game, pick some faces. It's gonna be so easy. And I like was thinking too hard about all of this.
Oh
So
yeah, me too. Like I even struggled to pick the game because every time I thought, oh, this game would make a good adaptation, either it had already been adapted
yeah,
or it was like kind of already an adaptation in and of itself, like the Spider-Man games, for
sure.
example, or like like stuff like that. Like I had a really hard time with this. And my first instinct was to do like a Stardew Valley casting as like a live action slice of life, like uh Oran High School Host Club, like
I'm so glad neither of us did that because I also thought about it for a minute. I was like, no, don't do
really
it.
legit.
Don't do your
I
Stardew fan cast.
in my notes I wrote I would never watch this, and I was
Okay, we are gonna have to compare our Stardew like half cast that we put together.
yeah, I was like I would never watch this as a concept. So I was like, okay, next. So I settled on Persona 4 Golden or Persona 4, either or.
Oh, wait, before we get into it, the one thing I
Yes.
did want to call out at the very beginning was
Yes.
we are talking about casting movies. And just as a reminder, the Screen Actors Guild and the Writers Guild are both still on strike with the AMPTP. So we're doing this, but knowing that that's going on at this time. So none of these things are going to
Mm-hmm.
happen until that's resolved. But go on, Molly, give us your dream
Yes.
for when it can happen.
Pay your workers, first of all.
Yeah.
So I picked Persona 4 Golden, either or. Because I thought, it's already got a solid foundation for a story,
Mm-hmm.
because most RPGs do. And I thought, like, I don't know, I think that, like, Persona 4 would work much better as a live action than Persona 5 would. Because I feel like Persona 4, even though they're, like, jumping into TVs and stuff, I feel like it feels a little more, like, grounded than Persona 5, right? But I made the mistake picking this because that game has a big, like, ensemble cast of characters, and I was like, I wrote them all down, and I was like, oh no, it's like I goofed, like, very very bad doing this. So I tried to just keep it to like the playable characters, like the
Mm-hmm.
people that you can take into the dungeons, into the television, and those are the only people that I cast. Okay, so you have the protagonist, Yu Narukami, I think his name is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a silent protagonist in the game. He has like a couple voice lines, but none of his dialogue is kind of spoken. He doesn't really say anything.
Blank slate
But I
character.
mm-hmm. So I don't know why I did this. I went for Dylan Sprouse. I was I was like, this was like the hardest one to cast, but I was like, I feel like one of the Sprouse twins could kind of pull this off, because even though he's a silent protagonist, he's kind of got like a bit of a cocky demeanor about him. He's kind of like headstrong. He can be a little cocky, and I was like, I feel like the Sprouse twins. I picked Dylan in the end because I think like his face suited it more. I don't know why. I was reading way too hard into this. I feel like he has just the right level of sass.
Is Persona 4 set in a high school the way that Persona 5 and like
Yes.
3 are? Okay. Are we divorcing this from Japanese high school and it's just like anywheresville
It's
high school?
it's the American
Okay.
Netflix like
Got it.
adaptation of this game. It's the Dragon Ball Z. It's the what's the other really bad live action anime adaptation that Hollywood made? I forget. I only remember that horrible Dragon Ball Z one. That was not good.
We just got
So, yeah.
One Piece. I haven't watched it.
No, I haven't watched that either, but I've heard good things
And
about it.
Cowboy Bebop. I also heard good things about Cowboy Bebop. I'm not sure if I
Oh
believe
yeah.
them, but that
I
also
heard
happened
mixed
recently.
things about Cowboy Bebop. But yeah, so this is like the Americanized
Okay.
take on like a Japanese RPG.
And the
So
Sprouse twins can still play high
this
schoolers.
yeah, and then they're of the age that
I
Hollywood
believe it.
casts. Yeah, Hollywood casts like people in their mid-30s to play high schoolers all the time, right? So I don't know how old Dylan Sprouse is actually. He's got to be
Younger than
around.
me, I
He's
think.
got to be around my age.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit older than me. Maybe. I gotta say probably like late 20s, early 30s. Definitely somewhere around that age. So yeah, I'm thinking Dylan Sprouse for my protagonist. Don't question it. In my brain, it works. And then, so the next person you have Yosuke, and Yosuke is like he's like kind of Yu's right hand man. He's like your best bro, you know. He's even though it's an ensemble cast, Yosuke is kind of like the story is written as him being like your closest friend,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. And so for Yosuke, I picked Dylan O'Brien. O'Brien, the Maze Runner actor. I think he's like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, he's the protagonist in Maze Runner. But I remember him more fondly as playing Styles in that Teen Wolf TV
Oh,
show.
sure.
And he has like perfect companion energy. Like he has the perfect, and like Yosuke's kind of like golden retriever energy as well. You know, he's like he's just a cool bro. And I feel like Dylan O'Brien just like encapsulates that kind of like companion, best buddy trope very, very well. He's got that like energy, that vibe about him. He's got protagonist energy as well, but I think he has like fantastic kind of humorous best buddy energy as well. So that's who I picked for my second. He was also, these were all really hard. These were all so tough to pick because I was scratching my head so bad. I was trying to think of actors that I've seen in other like TV shows and movies, and I just couldn't think of
Suddenly
people.
brain
Like
empty.
my mind went so blank. So yeah, that's my sidekick character.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third person, I'm trying to go in order of like how they get introduced, but they sort of get introduced kind of like in a chunk and then a little staggered. I think Chie is one of the next ones. So she's like kind of peppy, she's sporty, you know, she has like a little like sports jacket on. She's kind of like aggressive as well.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of like bullies Yosuke a little bit. Just a little bit, but she's, you know, she's peppy, she's spunky, she's like happy-go-lucky kind of character. So I picked Lana Condor. So she she is the main actress in To All the Boys I Loved Before. I think that's what it's called.
I don't know anything about this.
Do you not know this
Mm-mm.
movie? The To All the Boys I've Loved Before is a movie where Lana Condor is the main actress, and she like wrote letters to all the boys that she had a crush on. If it's been many years since I've seen this film. I watched this film when I was at university. She like writes letters to all of the people that she ever had a crush on, and then I think those letters end up getting like delivered to the men that like she wrote them about like years in the future when she's like a teenage, when she's like a late teenager. I
Mm-hmm.
don't fully remember the premise, but she's very, very good in it. And she's also in a thing called Boo Bitch, which yeah,
She's
which
at this little thing called it's Boo Bitch. I don't know if I'm pronouncing
Boo
that
Bitch.
correctly.
But I've seen snippets of that, and she seems very funny in that as well. So I thought that she'd suit the kind of peppy, spunky energy of Chie's kind of sporty personality. That's how it was working in my brain. Have I considered how all of these actors would look and mesh together so far? Absolutely not. This was hard enough as it is. I would implore any of you to pick like a video game and cast it. It is way harder than you could ever imagine it being. I don't even know. I think this would be a TV show. I think
Yeah,
this would be a TV show, especially because it's an RPG as well. I don't know if you could fit
there's a
the
lot of plot to get
premise.
through. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of plot to get through. I don't know if you could fit that into like a 2 hour movie. And I hate movies that are like 2.5, 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
I will accept it in certain circumstances, but I would much rather watch like 8 1 hour episodes when I feel like it than watch a 3 hour movie. I don't know. Maybe that's like super backwards logic. But yeah, this is gonna be a TV show. Can you tell that I've like thought super hard about this?
And then rethought it 3 times. I totally
Yeah.
didn't also do that.
So yeah, Chie, Lana Condor. And then we have Yukiko. Yukiko's kind of, she's a little more reserved. She's a lot more mature than the rest of the group as well. You know, she helps run like the family inn. You know, she's generally, she's kind of like the mother of the group. I think that's how she's viewed. So I decided that Sophie Turner would be perfect for this role. Like, you know, Sophie Turner played Sansa, is that her name? Mm-hmm. Sansa Stark on Game of Thrones, quite famously known as the woman who made Joe Jonas famous again. She is.
Have you been on social media for the past week?
Yeah, have you okay. seen what is going on social media recently with Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner? Perhaps you have. Perhaps you haven't seen the incredibly strange divorce ongoings and rumors. But anyway, Sophie Turner, I think she just reflects that, like, because she's still young. She's like 27, but I think she has like a very like motherly presence about her, right? I think she's very refined, she's very elegant, which Yukiko also is. Like, Yukiko is very soft, she's very elegant, she's very like kind. And I think Sophie Turner would embody, I think she would like play those qualities very, very well. And because she just looks very like regal as well, I think so. Sophie Turner is like so pretty, she's so beautiful. And I think her, like, the way that she looks and the way like things that I like, the way she acted in Game of Thrones as well, I think that she would be a very good pick for Yukiko. That was what was in my brain. So yeah, I think she is my favorite casting out of all these people that I cast. I think Yukiko is probably my favorite pick, personally. So yeah, so next you have Kanji. So Kanji's like, he's kind of like the rebellious one. You know, he like bleaches his hair. I think he has like an eyebrow piercing. You know, he's like the delinquent.
Every delinquent has bleached hair. Those are the rules.
Yeah, right. That every Japanese RPG with a teenage delinquent has dyed hair. That is the rule. That is how it is a constant, right? And I meant to pick an actual answer for this, but I didn't. I apparently did some time traveling instead. I'm like getting in a time machine. I'm going back 30 years, and I am. I meant to cast like an actual like young actor for this, but I didn't. Okay. I have said that if I could have like 1990s, like early 1990s James Masters, who, for those of you who don't know, he played Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And Spike, you know, Spike has like the bleached hair. He's very punk. Spike is in Buffy. Yeah. he's got like a super punk aesthetic. He's like very in that like Sex Pistols. He's in his Sex Pistols era in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And like that James Masters.
So you're just going to yank him out of the 90s, early 2000s?
Yes. I'm just going to pluck him from the 90s. I'm going to bring him into 2023. And I'm going to make him play Kanji. Because 1990s James Masters would be perfect. He would literally... And then I had a little like note saying, "Oh, here's my 2023 casting," and I didn't put anything because there's just no one in my brain that is better suited than a young James Masters. And you know, this is never going to happen anyway. So
okay. The 90s are back in, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, I can dream like a little bit, right? I can wish for a young James Masters to come and play a high school delinquent, because I think that would be That would be lovely. I don't know who I would cast in 2023 for like a high school delinquent who's kind of like, the thing with Kanji, right, is he's very, on the outside, he's very like brutish, and he's very sort of standoffish and, you know, quite aggressive, again because of like the delinquent like persona. Haha, that's the name.
If you were to call it a persona, perhaps.
Crazy, that's the name of the game. But he's like very in touch with his feminine side as well. Like, that's a big kind of plot point of Kanji's story, is how in touch with his feminine side he is, how like him kind of becoming comfortable with that side of himself as well. And his sexuality is left very ambiguous in the game as well. Like, it's not 100% clear if he's like bisexual or what, because he has a crush on like a very androgynous character whose like gender identity is very unclear for a good portion of the game. So kind of his sexuality is left very vague, and again, like I said, it's all about kind of coming to terms with being more in tune with like the more quote unquote like feminine things that he enjoys. So I don't know who would be good for that in 2023. Someone who's quite abrasive but also very like sensitive. That's
It's out there. It's just not coming to mind.
I might have to think about that one. Maybe if you guys are listening out there, maybe you will have a good casting for Kanji, because that boy, he's probably my favorite character in that whole game. I really, really love Kanji a lot. So I would love like
nobody was good enough except
no one was good enough except 1990s James Masters. He is the best. So yeah, that's my time travel-y pick, you know. And then we have Rise. So Rise, she's like a pop star. Like, she's like an idol, you know. She's got like gorgeous hair. She's very pretty. But she, you know, she kind of struggles to deal with like the fame side a little bit, stuff like that. But I picked Zendaya. I picked Zendaya because I'm like, Zendaya is gorgeous. Like, Zendaya has like pop
happens to be
idol
doing TV right now. Yeah,
like, you know, she's been doing great in Euphoria. I've only really seen clips of Euphoria. I've not like watched it. She was great in Spider-Man. Loved her in that. And, you know, she's a pretty big actress right now. And I think she exudes the very pop starry energy that Rise has. And yeah, I think she would be a good pick for Rise. This is the one I thought the least about, because I was like, I just really want to cast.
I just Zendaya really want Zendaya.
Yeah, I was like, I want Zendaya. I don't know where I'm gonna put her. And then I thought about like who in the cast would be best suited for Zendaya to play. And in my head, I came to the conclusion that it would be Rise. Because like I said, you know, they're both very pretty. I don't know how old Zendaya is, but she's playing a high schooler in Euphoria, right? Like, she plays a high school girl. So, you know, it's fine. We're casting like 28-year-olds to play 16-year-olds. I see no problem with it. So, so yeah, Zendaya as Rise, as the pop star, the pop idol. Who's like, kind of Rise's thing is that it's like the objectification kind of thing. Like, her dungeon is very sort of like seductive in like an uncomfortable way, especially, you know, because she's a high schooler as well,
right?
So I feel like, again, with the whole like Euphoria thing, I think that would work quite well. And then we have Teddy. We have Teddy, who is, I don't think I've ever hated a video game character more than I have hated Teddy. I do not like Teddy in the slightest. So I was like, okay, if I was gonna make this like an adaptation, I'm just gonna meme the hell out of him. I'm just gonna put someone who like I find annoying but in an endearing way to play this character. So I settled on Danny DeVito.
Wait, why is Danny DeVito playing a high schooler? Wait, is this not a high
So
schooler?
Teddy is like a big bear looking thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like
Literally Teddy. Got it.
yeah, and you like
My
unzip its
lack of
head.
persona knowledge. What?
How could you? How could you not know who Teddy is? Yeah, it's like a mascot looking kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
Teddy is a terrifying like abomination to everything that is good and well in this world. Are you looking up Teddy?
I am looking up Teddy. Okay, confirmed. I do hate it.
Yeah. Teddy is an abomination. So I feel like, this is like a voice acted role. So I was thinking like who do I really like, but who can also be very annoying? So I was like Danny DeVito, Jack Black, the big comedy characters
hmm
who like can do annoying in a very likable way.
hmm
And I was like, Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito has to be Teddy.
Danny DeVito's voice coming out of that thing would be horrifying.
It'd be horrifying. And the funny thing is, like, Danny DeVito sounds nothing like Teddy's like English voice in that game.
Mhm.
Teddy's voice is like very high. And it's I hate it. I hate like I'm so sorry to whoever voiced Teddy in like the English version of Persona 4, but
You did a too good of job, in fact.
you did too good of a job because it like fills me with so much anger. It's one of those voices that I just like Cicero in Skyrim.
Oh, sure.
Like when that douche canoe talks and I just want to like rip my fucking ears off. Sorry, I do it. I just want to rip my ears off so bad. But yeah, so Danny DeVito, because he could be annoying likably. Annoying, affectionate,
hmm
in that kind of way. Yeah, I really made a mistake picking such a big cast.
You did. How much persona
I have
cast
one
is
more.
there? One more? Okay.
I have one more. I know, right? Thank the Lord. I don't know why I did this to myself. I could have picked like a nice tidy like 3-4 character like nice little game. No, I had to make
Molly,
this
you
so.
made the rules. You made the rules. What are
I
you
made the
doing?
rules, and then I said like make it like nightmare difficulty. I don't know why I did this to myself. Yeah, so the final character is Naoto. Naoto is like the kind of androgynous, sort of gender ambiguous
hmm
character that like it's not 100% clear for like some of the game. But I ended up picking Kiernan Shipka. I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Um, who was an actress in Sabrina, the Netflix Sabrina. Am I correct in saying that? I am pretty sure that is who. I'm having a moment. I'm like doubting my own. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. She is literally the main character in the chilling adventures of Sabrina. That's, oh my goodness gracious me. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And she looks great with a bob.
hmm
She's got like one of those very like gorgeous faces that can
hmm
lean into both like femininity and masculinity. It's like one of those like very strong faces, I think, that like suits a little bit of androgyny. And I think that would be perfect. That'd be so good. I was just purely going off like how does this actress look in a bob? Does this actress look good in a bob? Amazing. Right, that's my casting. Because again, Naoto is like very hard to cast because Naoto is like very nervous, very like withdrawn
hmm
at first, especially because again with like the whole like gender ambiguity that's in the game around Naoto's identity. And so Naoto's like very, very difficult to cast for that reason because they are just very like sort of introverted for a lot of the game. But I think Kiernan Shipka would be would be a good pick. And then at the bottom of my notes, I just have Timothy Chalamet would be a Adachi or something. I don't know. And who's like is like a policeman in the game. I yeah. He's like a semi major character for like some of that game. And I don't know. Timothy Chalamet like frightens me. I don't know why. Like Timothy Chalamet like unsells me so bad. Like, have you seen the Wonka trailer? Like the new like Wonka movie trailer?
I did at one point. It's been a
That
while.
that trailer and just like Timothy's like I know that Willy Wonka is meant to be quite an unsettling
Right. Yeah.
character anyway. Like that is like the whole point of Willy Wonka, right? He's not supposed to be You're not supposed to be like, "Aw, I love the little chocolatier." No, you're meant to like be actively like uncomfortable by his presence, right? But I don't know. Timothy Chalamet did too good a job of that. And there's something about Adachi in Persona that also kind of actively unsettles me. So, yeah.
You did it. You made it through the whole Persona 4 cast.
I did it. I don't know why I did that to myself. I am deeply, deeply, deeply sorry for the last like 20 minutes of this podcast of just me rallying off the entire Persona 4. You could have played Persona 4 in the time that it's taken me to talk about these casting choices.
I learned new things. This is good. This is good for me. Interlude for comparing Stardew notes, because I also said to myself, what if I just did a like Stardew Valley fan cast? And then I was like, no, that's too many characters. And also, I got as far as Jane Lynch should be Pam.
That's so good. That's so good.
Jane Lynch, best known in this era maybe for being on Glee as Sue Sylvester. Yes. I mean, that was like a long running role. Yeah, I feel like she's Pam, and then I got no farther than that, and I gave up. So
honestly, like that is such a good casting, though. Jane Lynch as Pam would be perfect. I don't know who you would pick for anyone else. I could not think. Like as soon as I got to like reverse harem situation or like a harem, I forget which way around it is. Once I got to like Ouran High School Host Club, but it's Stardew Valley and it's live action, my brain was like, pick something else, Mollie. I don't know who you would cast in that. Like, who would Robin be?
I have no idea. I truly like. I just blanked after Pam, and I had nothing else to go on, so I gave up on Stardew Valley.
That's understandable. I think we both made the right choice.
Yeah, that also would have just been a long. That would have been a long tirade of mine doing a Stardew Valley fan cast.
You get to Elliot, and it's like, oh my god, it would be very, very long. So yeah, so neither of us picked Stardew. What did you pick?
I was super tempted. So I avoided the Stardew giant sinkhole, and I was like, okay, what do you want in RPG? Like, what do you actually want adapted? I thought like briefly about Assassin's Creed Black Flag, because we've had that recent bit about it, like something broke on Steam and everybody was like, did they pull the store page down because they're about to remaster Black Flag? And Ubisoft is like, no, it's just broken. Sorry. As far as we know at this moment. But I did have the thought, I was like, I just want, because it has like a lot of like classic pirate historical figure characters in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I was thinking of Black Sails. Is that the name of the TV show? I've literally watched the whole thing. Great TV show, though it's really hard to watch because it's on like, I don't know, Stars or something like that. There are too many streaming services that exist. Over here. I could not tell you what it's on. I don't remember what I had to do to watch it, but Black Sails is great pirate show. Also has all the classic characters. I was like, just pull the whole cast of that and then do an Assassin's Creed Black Flag adaptation. Just like have them do a whole nother show. That would be silly. So obviously I didn't do that either. And where I landed is equally dumb. Is Phasmophobia. and or demonologist if you've moved over to play
Oh, we were
demonologist.
talking about this game a couple weeks ago.
We were, and so I would like to play more Phasmophobia again. 'Tis the season, and my partner has been playing Demonologist, which is another very similar thing, a little bit newer with friends, and I think I'm going to get into that this season. So I kind of cheated because Phasmophobia, famous for not having characters. In fact, you just have little preset people that you pick.
They have people. They exist.
So really what I'm casting is just another Ghostbusters. We already got a Ghostbusters remake. So I'm just doing that again, it turns out. And in my head, I started going down this whole line of like, obviously it starts out like the other guys starts out. The like goofy cop movie that's Will Ferrell and Marky Mark.
Oh,
The
yeah, yeah.
beginning of that movie is like two like action hero dudes, like I think it's The Rock and somebody else like leaping off a building or whatever, and then it's like this is not about them. I was like, okay, obviously you've got to open this on like also The Rock and like Stephanie Beatriz, who is Rosa Diaz
Yes.
in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and like I don't know, Keanu Reeves for some reason. You get like 2 minutes of them, and then it's like, never mind, those are the real Ghostbusters. We are not Ghostbusters because in Phasmophobia, you were just ghost identifiers. Um, and then you freaking leave before the actual like extraction team comes. So it just became me picking comedians who I think would be good in like just ridiculous like gag reel take on what it is to be going through a house and identifying ghosts, or a high school or wherever else. Maybe there's a really great plot and they start out
Mhm.
at the Ridgeview house, like the smallest house. I think it's Ridgeview.
Yeah.
Looking for ghosts, and then they wind up and they have to go to the local high school
It's
to
like
find the
Taskmaster,
ghosts.
but Phasmophobia edition.
Nearly, yeah. I literally wrote down LOL James A. Caster and I didn't pick him because I was like, I don't think he fits with everybody else, but I kind of do want James A. Caster to be looking for ghosts in a bad way. Um,
Yes.
so did not choose him. I put him aside, but let the record show that I think James A. Caster would be very amusing. Having
Taskmaster.
have having a poor time searching for ghosts. And so where I landed was instead like sort of a weird mix. I have 3 people and I frankly need a fourth, so maybe James gets in anyway. And I reworked it several times. First, I tried Andy Samberg because I was like, go back to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, get another
Mm.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine cast member. And then I was like, no, not Andy Samberg. We're going to get Daniel Craig, who's in his goofy era
Oh,
right now after
yes.
the Glass Onion and Knives Out.
Yes.
He has gone full goofy, and I think I just want him to be a grizzled old ghost identifier, the leader of my poor unfortunate souls. And I okay, who then goes with them? We need a mix of character styles. Then I was like, okay, I want William Jackson Harper, who plays Chidi in The Good Place.
Oh,
I
yes.
have not
Incredible actor.
watched The Good Place, but all I
You
see is
should.
clips of him constantly. And I would like him to also be on the ghost identifying team because I think between the two of them, we've got uh, grizzled at this point Daniel Craig, and we've got William Jackson Harper, who at least in playing Chidi, a little bit more upbeat and fast and
Yeah.
different speed, different mode, a little more concerned about everything than probably Daniel Craig is. Um, and then I picked Tig Notaro, who is a stand-up comedian who has recently been in Army of the Dead, I think is what she got pulled into. But I just as a comedy fan person, I was like, I want Tig Notaro because now she's in like voice work in some things lately, I think, and has been in a couple live action stuff as well. But I definitely, after seeing the um the clips and like screenshots of her being in Army of the Dead as this like also grizzled like helicopter mechanic or whatever it is she is in Army of the Dead, I was like, yeah, I need her too. So now I've got Daniel Craig and Tig Notaro and William Jackson Harper as a ghost busting team, and I have a fourth slot available. And I'm just rattling through comedians and like sketch artists in my head at this point. I'm like, who do I want? Who goes with them? And I don't know.
I feel like Michael Cera would be the perfect
Michael
Phasmophobia. He would
Cera.
be so good in like a Phasmophobia live action movie. He would. I stan Michael Cera always. I am that
Okay.
person.
I feel like then if you cast Michael Cera, you've got like two options. Either he is the one who is afraid and stays in the truck always, and will not go
Yes.
in the house, or you are going like full joke comedy movie, like meta, and it's one of those, oh, it's like a game type things, and they do actually die, but then not
Mm.
die, but Michael Cera dies first every time. I feel like no matter where they go, Michael Cera dies first, and
Yes.
everybody else lives on. And a running gag of just everybody having to take a photograph of Michael Cera's body in order to get cash for the next ghost hunting run.
Lauren, I think you have something here.
Yeah. I've accidentally created scary movie, whatever number scary movie is on, mixed with Ghostbusters, but
This is so good. I do wonder who else could be the fourth. Because
I was going through thinking of comedians, and that's how I wound up at James A. Caster. But then I was like, I don't feel like James A. Caster is a running around set type of comedian,
no.
because I originally had Andy Samberg in instead of Daniel Craig as my ringleader, and the two of them, importantly, are action capable individuals, and I don't think that's James A. Caster's speed. I don't know the
Mhm.
man, but I'm just taking a guess that I don't think he's sprinting through the high school ghost
No.
busting. Uh, maybe he's the one that stays in the truck and dies every time. I don't know. Maybe that can be
What
his
about
spot
like?
instead of Michael Cera's.
Oh, no, I was gonna say Aquafina, but maybe
Maybe
maybe she's a little too overcast at this point. Maybe she's been in too many movies recently.
I don't know. I literally have Daniel Craig, so like you can't be overcast. There's
That is true. I do feel like you need like kind of a goofy woman in there as well. If you're gonna have kind of like the headstrong, like you said, kind of like grizzly
mm-hmm.
vibe, you need this sort of either like ultra aggressive.
I do need another fast-paced person, because I
Yeah.
have Daniel Craig, and if you're familiar with Tig Notaro's comedy, she is as slow as you can go. Like that's her whole deal. She tells stories so slowly, and she is fantastic. But like that is her pace. And between the two of them, I might need another upbeat person.
Hmm.
Which again, maybe you nailed it with Michael Cera.
I love him. I will cast Michael. Why did I not cast Michael Cera in my thing? That
You could.
is,
I don't know if he should be
I know.
playing high schoolers at this point, but I don't know. Probably could. Why
Yeah,
not?
I think I made a mistake picking an RPG with so many characters and they're all high schoolers. It was such a mistake. You have picked like the perfect adaptable. Like it's so malleable. You can do so much with Phasmophobia.
I did make it easier on myself. We talked about adaptations earlier this year together,
We
about TV
did.
adaptations, ones that we did and didn't like, and we sort of wound up in this territory of we really enjoy things that aren't direct retellings. I think we
Mhm.
wound up sort of in that area, all of us together, and saying
I
we
remember
kind
the
of
review.
liked things that were more like take the world and tell a story in a different area, which is
Yep.
not really what I did. I just took a game that's
I
like doesn't
mean,
have a story and like make one up.
yeah, but you could totally do that. And I was literally one of the people that was also saying like, I don't want like a straight adaptation of a game. I was like, I want something malleable. And then what do? I just go and do a straight adaptation. Oh,
Maybe
I'm so disappointed in myself.
you picked these actors that can play down a bit. Maybe it's Persona
Mm.
College. Maybe they've gone on from high school, and this is
Mm.
Persona the epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
Persona 4-2. It has to have a horribly long name with too much punctuation in it.
It
Persona 4
does.
Golden 2 Revived, uh, double double special effect.
What about Emma Stone?
Oh, Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Oh, as a Ghostbuster?
As a Ghostbuster.
Yeah, she could be my high speed person for sure. Oh
She
man,
could.
and she'd be so afraid. She would play afraid so well. She could be the other between her typical typecast character and the one character that I happen to know William Jackson Harper as. Both very anxious, I think, type characters usually. And then yeah, we've got Daniel Craig and Tig Notaro. I think that's a great mashup. Nice pick. Thanks. I like
Yeah,
that.
I like that too. Oh, see, now I want a Phasmophobia adaptation. I would absolutely love one. I think you're right. You kind of have to play into the sort of like, I want to say unintentional comedy that Phasmophobia has. Like, I don't think it was ever meant to be kind of funny, but it is kind of funny. Like when you're playing that game, it is
Yeah.
scary. Like when that ghost is hunting, it is like genuinely terrifying.
My heart, my poor heart. When I first started playing that game, yeah, I was so afraid all of the time. And now it's like this chill, like kick back with your friends type thing, just like,
Yeah.
shouting at a ghost in a house. But when you first started playing it, you didn't understand how it worked. Like, I was afraid to like move into different rooms. I was afraid to explore. I was just scared all of the time.
But I think you're right. Like as you get comfier with that game, it just becomes kind of funny because you start like messing with each other a little bit. You know, you might like slam a door on your friends, or they'll be like trying to get out, and you just keep pulling the door on them every time they try and like pull open the door, or you try and antagonize the ghost. Like I like to be like really mean to the ghost when I walk in. I like to kind of like shout at it and bully it a little
Listen
bit.
here.
Yeah, I'm like, you're stupid. I'm like, you're so stupid and you're ugly. You're so ugly. You know? I'll just start saying their name. Like their name was like Kristen. I'm like, Kristen, you're ugly. Like, you're so ugly. It's like their name is like James or something. I'm like, James. I'm like, you're the ugliest James I've ever met in my life. And then like the light switch will flicker or something. I'll be like, whoa.
That's right.
And I'll like absolutely crap my pants. I'll be so scared. Yeah, I think, you know, that like I said, I think there's a sort of unintentional comedy to Phasmophobia that I think you would like really have to lean into with
Oh, absolutely. This
like
is
a
not a
movie
properly
adaptation.
scary movie. This is
No.
all gags, all jokes. Maybe people die and come back
Yeah.
to life. I'm not sure
I think
yet.
you're right with like the Daniel Craig like Knives Out, Glass Onion vibe. I think that kind of vibe where it's like serious, but it's not.
Yeah, it's
like,
yeah.
It's like pretending to take itself seriously while very clearly like not doing that, right? And like that kind of energy, I think would be perfect for Phasmophobia. Oh my god, Lauren, you won! You won this episode,
Thank you.
100%. You're so welcome. I feel like I won.
You gave me an advantage. You just made it too hard on yourself.
Yeah, I made it way too hard on myself. I feel like I won our RPG party.
You did.
Yeah.
I had a friend message me and say, like, Mollie's fridge pick for the RPG party was the best one. I was like, I know. I can't believe she picked a fridge. Go back and listen to that episode if you haven't listened to us pick our favorite RPG parties. Spoilers, apparently, for Mollie's pick.
That one was maybe that's a few episodes back. You should definitely go and listen to us picking out RPG parties, which I think I won that episode.
You did win. Yes.
But you have 100%. You have like absolutely snagged the win on this episode. You've got it in the bag. You took it home.
Thank you.
I applaud you. That was a really good adaptation pick because I was struggling to pick a game. I was like that was my first big roadblock. I thought picking a game was
even
so
having
easy.
A game.
Yep, was just even having a game. So amazing game, amazing casting choices.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Thanks for setting us up. Thank you, Mollie, for attempting to cast some video game movie adaptations. We did our best out here. Imaginations ran wild.
Yes, they did. Perhaps a little too wild sometimes. Some people thought a little too hard.
It's okay. That's what we're here for. Thanks, Mollie. Bye.
Bye.